Hey everyone, how's it going? A lot of people ask me about how to create different tensions and releases and sounds and chromatics and all that kind of stuff. And I want to talk about it freely today and just show you some stuff that you can start implementing into your playing. Many of the students that come to me can already kind of play, right? But they're experiencing some lack of understanding of how to utilize a language that they really crave, which is kind of like the language of jazz, fusion, bebop, that kind of stuff. It's something that is very based on the fundamental stuff, meaning that before you can decorate a house, in this case, the house is going to be an arpeggio. First of all, you gotta have the house to decorate, right? So what does that mean? That means that you need to be obsessed over starting your arpeggios, triads, and all kind of stuff, so you can start implementing different tools into them. For example, if you take an A minor arpeggio and you want to make it sound more like you need to know how to decorate around the arpeggio. Well, that means that first of all, rhythmically, you're playing here, I'm playing here 16th notes, right? So 1 iena, 2 iena, 1 iena, 2 iena, 3 iena, 4 iena, 1 iena. If I play this as quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have all this room now to fill in between. For example, 1 E N A 2. That's a beautiful way of going from the third to the root. So A minor, third, root. And what I'm doing is third goes to the root. Okay? Those of you who have been studying my Galactic Modern Guitar series know that I obsess a lot about knowing the arpeggios all over the fretboard and then starting to implement all kinds of chromatic approaches and different devices into them. Alright, so maybe that gives you a little bit of direction of what you can do now with an arpeggio that you learn. Let's proceed by trying and play a full arpeggio. So right, that will be third goes to the root, but if I want to go from my fifth to my third, right, I'm in A minor, so E is my fifth and C is my third, so I can go chromatically. Fifth goes to the third, and now I have these kind of tools and sounds I can work with. So third goes to the root, 5 into third. That can be third goes to the root. Now if I want to go to the 5, root goes to the 5. If I want to go from the 5th to the root, that's what I just did. So third goes to the root into the 5. And then maybe I can go into the third. And now I have this arpeggio turned into this. Now maybe I want to go back to the root from the third, so I can go. You see, I have a small leap here, this major 7. It's a half step below my root, and I can go into the root. Let's connect that slowly here. You see, you practice these in a very focused way, rather than just noodling around, and you're trying to land on the strong beats. Alright, so you have that. Now you can start also introducing different motions, such as stacking thirds, and that will be this. You see, this is all from this A Dorian or A melodic minor scale. And what I'm doing is I'm stacking thirds, meaning I'm skipping notes from the scale and I'm stacking them on top of each other. So root, third, fifth, let's say major 7, which is a beautiful sound on minor chords, and then a 9. So now I have my triad, my arpeggio, but I'm adding some tensions and cool thirds on top of that fifth, like the major 7, 9, maybe even 11, and I have this. For those of you interested about the technique I use, I go up, down, 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 up. Right? So once I landed on this 11th over here, the 4th degree, I can use this as an enclosure to my third. Right? That's how I get this sound. You can also do this like trills. Now, same thing we had, major 7 to the root, major 7 to the root, do dee doo doo, 1, 2, 3. Right? Maybe now I just want to play up a scale. Maybe that's now the motion I'm looking for, because I had these kind of like movement of like an ascending kind of like an arpeggio stacking thirds, and then I created this enclosure giving me this dynamic chromatic kind of feel. Maybe now it's time to just play a scale going up, you know, the contrasts of motions are in play. And maybe ending on the roots. 1, 2, 3. You can study all of these and, you know, so much more, really diving into the fundamentals on my Galactic Modern Guitar series. And you can check that out in the description of this video. It's right there. You can access all of the complete ultimate bundle and check it out. All right, so let's go back here. So yeah, let's play this phrase down an octave, right? You know, it's funny, like on piano, it's very easy to see things down an octave, right? But what I tell to all of my students and what I show in my online courses, whenever you play something and you learn anything, make sure to not only know it in at least 2 octaves on the guitar, because it will be visualized a little bit differently, right, on each octave, but also be able to see it on different strings. That's also important, because what you're striving for here is freedom of expression. That when you have a sound in your head or a phrase in your head, you can play it, right? Even if you learned it in another octave, or you learned it in another area on the guitar, or even in another key. You have the flexibility of being able to play it anywhere, anytime. All right, so if I learned the phrase or came up with a phrase, play it here. You see? And also be able to understand it. I'm stacking third, enclosure to the third, right? Major 7 to the root, going up a scale motion, 5 root. Also here. Right? What about if I had, you know, this is A minor over here, this is A minor over here. What if I had an A minor over here? Could I play that phrase? So again, because I understand the tools that are in play, I can. I'm stacking thirds, enclosure to, right? Enclosure to the third here. So, and then I'm going to the major 7 to the root, playing a scalar motion, 5 root. See different areas on the guitar. So hopefully this gives you some direction that you can practice. Take a chord, pick a chord, right? A chord for your practice session. Stack some thirds. See a target tone, maybe the third. Create kind of like an enclosure or a movement that puts that chord tone landing on a strong beat. And then maybe go up in some scalar motion and maybe end in a leap. Good, you have a phrase, right? Maybe, it doesn't have to be exactly like that. It can be a combination of the elements of stacking motion that is like stacking intervals, then maybe some scalar motion, an enclosure creating some tension, maybe some chromatics landing on strong beats, and maybe ending your phrase with a leap. But all of these tools are great. Once you learn them, make sure to, number one, learn them in different octaves, experiment using them in different keys, and of course, being able to implement them over a jam. That can be maybe a one-chord vamp or maybe an actual tune. After a while, you will see doing this, you're starting to develop your own vocabulary, your own approach. And from there, it's a lot of listening to music and a lot of making sure that you have a step-by-step way of always making sure that you have all the fundamentals down. And that's exactly why I have created the Galactic Modern Guitar series, where you're going to have a complete, unique fretboard system, a path to absolutely clarify all the misconceptions, and definitely a program I wish I had when I tried to connect all of the dots on the fretboard. And you can check that out in the link in the description of this video. Now, if you want to check a really cool video I did about the guitar understanding that changed my life, so check out this video right over here, a concept that revolutionized the way I approach guitar more than a decade ago. Check it out.